Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 Paws and Claws run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're trying one that has been requested a ton since the beta for Paws and Claws dropped. The Pacifist with pets. Now of course the Pacifist comes with minus 100% damage, which is going to make it really hard for the pets to kill stuff. But it's not that difficult to fix your damage on this character to get it back to a reasonable amount of damage. And that means that we can play the Pacifist kind of normally, using the high economy from hands and the Pacifist's passive. And then in the late game, once we have some pets, transition to actually killing things, which will get us more money and keep us safer, as long as we get a few pets to protect us. Take 5 harvesting here, I definitely want those. And then I'm going to re-roll here. I'm going to save my bands for level 2 items, I think. Reroll again, we'll take a hand. Peaceful Bee is worth locking, of course. This gives us dodge, which we want with our unarmed build and harvesting. And then we'll buy a hand, I'll roll again, and buy another hand. I could lock head injury. We do want to build percent damage, but I'm not going to start doing that right away. I'm going to save that shop slot for potentially a rat to appear, or, of course, just good economy items like you would normally want. Although the Pacifist gets money for leaving enemies alive, you get more money when you kill them. So it's still worth it to try to deal damage if you can on this character. That's why I'm focusing attacks on the same enemies over and over again. Even though at this stage of the game, our hands only do 1 damage, enemies have pretty low health. So that's enough that we can sometimes still get kills. Take some harvesting there, then I'll take some regeneration, I'll buy a hand, lock a coupon, and roll, buy another hand. Of course, we don't want to buy the coupon yet. It's going to save us generously like 4 materials this wave. Actually, it would have been only 2, I think, maybe 3. And that's immediately offset by the harvesting from hands and the fact that we just have higher level weapons and stuff right away. I could roll again here with a level 2 hand. We could find a level 1. Is that worth it for 5? I think not with 2 other items locked. If we'd had that exact shop, but the reroll had cost 3, I would have rerolled though. Because you can have both a level 1 and a level 2 item locked, and on the first 2 shops, you're guaranteed to see 2 weapons every reroll, so there was a decent chance that we rolled into a level 1 hand there. And take some damage here to pick up these materials. Really important to grab those early. I'm gonna roll, and I'll roll again. I was hoping for harvesting, but more regeneration is pretty good early on this character as well. Then we'll take 8 harvesting. Now we'll buy the coupon. We'll go ahead and combine and buy hand and Peaceful Bee. Take a reroll. Baby Squid this early is incredible, so we're very happy to see that. We'll buy the Ugly Tooth. We'll roll again. I'll take Corrupted Shard. This is cursed items can be pretty good for this character, of course. And this is a start on fixing our percent damage. And then I'm going to roll and lock hand. Whistle, of course, we're not going to buy. And like I said, I'm saving my bands for level 2 to try to get more pets to appear. I did test it, and the pets are not restricted from showing up on the Pacifist, so the Pacifist does have some item restrictions, but you can still find pets, so this run will work, at least as much as any other run would. There's still a chance we don't find pets, but it's not, like, guaranteed that we don't or anything. Yeah, we'll take 8 more harvesting, and then now I have to stop buying economy stuff. We're going to be reducing my move speed even further, which is pretty bad, but obviously we need to buy armor as well. But we'll need to fix our move speed soon. We'll take the hand here, I'll lock the mushroom, and then reroll, and reroll again, reroll again. I'm rolling while we have hands, while we have guaranteed weapons. Blindfold I'll take. We want to build dodge, and crit chance does work with whatever pets we might eventually get, so we're pretty happy to do that. And the Schmoop is great defensive stats for us. Losing 2 melee damage, not relevant currently, might be later once we've built a little more percent damage, but for now, the HP and the regeneration are so much more important. Again, we're still getting the occasional kill, just with our 1 damage a shot. So I'm making sure to pick up those materials. Let's re-roll here. Ooh, 4 regeneration. That's really nice. Lifesteal is also not bad on this character. You're always going to be hitting stuff because you're not killing it. So I'll take 3% lifesteal, and then we'll take Mushroom and Swoop first. And I'll roll. I'm definitely banning the eye patch. That's a level 2 item we don't care about. We'll keep upgrading our hands. Cute Monkey doesn't really do anything for this character because we're not going to drop materials most of the time. I'll buy the Loot Worm. That can kill trees for us, and as you saw, we are having a little bit of trouble when we do kill something, picking up the materials, so Loot Worm should solve that problem. And then we'll lock a hand here as well. There's a school of thought that says you shouldn't go past level 2 hands. I personally don't agree with that most of the time. It's not that important to level them like all the way to 4 or anything, but the extra base attack speed on your hands is really important, especially on Abyssal Terrors, where the anglerfish charge you multiple times over, and you need a lot of attack speed to keep pushing them away. So once we get to wave 8, we'll be very thankful that we have the leveled up hands to keep pushing enemies away. And of course, we do get more harvesting, so while it's not like the most efficient way to buy harvesting, the benefits are worth the expenditure. Let's re-roll here. I'll definitely take some armor. And I will go ahead and buy all these items. I'll take another fertilizer. My move speed, unfortunately, is so negative I do have to buy Terrified Onion. I always really dislike when you have to buy this item, because losing luck is very painful. But when your move speed is negative, you should usually just buy it. We'll buy the tree. I'll take the injection here as well. We are trying to build percent damage, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up. Normally an item you would never buy on the Pacifist, but for this run, it should be fairly useful. I'm going to try to... I think we still have enough damage. I could maybe have killed one of the clams, but unfortunately I didn't get there in time, and the healer spawned and healed it back up. Oh no, the loot worm bug is still in. Okay, so I thought they fixed this. There was a patch note about fixing it. Supposedly, so the loot worm had a bug where when there were no materials on the field, it wouldn't go after trees. And supposedly they had fixed that, but it looks like that bug is still in. I didn't know that when I bought the loot worm. That does make it a lot worse. But, so we did throw away a few materials for that, but hopefully not that big a deal. Baby elephant, we're never going to be picking up materials, so let's just recycle that. I could take 9 dodge. We're building dodge. I could also take 3 armor, or I could roll for something like regeneration or HP. Just to take 3 armor. I think that's going to matter the most. I'm going to get my luck back to positive here. Attack speed is really nice before we go to wave 8. I already talked about that's where the anglerfish show up, and I already talked about that. Now, community support, -2 armor is really bad, so even though this gives us a ton of attack speed, I still don't think it's, because there will always be lots of enemies, I still don't think it's worth picking up the community support here. So expensive and gives you a, just not that much. I'll definitely buy Gentle Alien. Treasure Map is a little weaker on this character, of course, because we're not dropping as many crates. We do have a tree, which will mean a few more crates. So I'll spec on the treasure map. There's a chance that it is just useless. I'll ban Cyberball here. I will keep buying consumable healing, and I'll buy a Blood Leech as well. That's more healing, and I'll keep upgrading our hands for 42. That's fine. So we'll lock all of those. Maybe once I had a little more damage, I would consider the community support more, but for now, I don't think it's worth it. So the reason Wave 8 is such a concern for this character is these anglerfish enemies, and you'll see that I'm kind of pausing my movement occasionally to wait for the ones that haven't aggroed yet to go away. Of course, these enemies don't attack you unless you get too close to them, but then they start charging you, and their charges are a really dangerous attack pattern. So you need to be really careful of those. But as the Pacifist, you don't get as much control over where you go as a normal character does, because you are just always running away from these groups of enemies. So you can easily get overwhelmed by the anglerfish if you're not careful. We'll take the propeller hat here. Take 3 armor, and then we'll buy this whole shop. Take a reroll. Little frog, I don't really want to lose dodge, so I'm just going to ban that. We'll buy the hand here, and then I'll reroll again. I'll lock a hand. I'll lock injection, because again, we're trying to build percent damage. Scarf, I really don't think we can afford. It's just too dangerous to increase enemy attack speed. And I'll do 1 reroll there, but the second one's too expensive. I need to try to kill some of these low health enemies so that if a tree spawns, the loot worm is awake and goes after it. Okay, yeah, so there was a material on the ground. You can see it up here. Oh yeah, actually, on this wave, there will always be some material drops, because when the egg hatches, it drops materials, because it counts as it dying. So, because there are these hatcher aliens, they produce eggs, those eggs then hatch. There will usually be some materials on the ground to make our loot worm do its job. Did eat that tree. And there we go. Oh, nice. Vigilante ring. That'll help solve our damage problems. I definitely need the 9 movement speed here. We really need to fix that. I'll keep upgrading hand. I'll buy injection. I'll buy beanie. 6 luck is kind of important, but I think I'm just going to ban the metal detector. We're just not picking up materials right now. I've got 2 consumable heals, so we can get away with buying alien worm. We don't need boxing glove. Hand comes with 30 knockback, so you're only improving this by 10% if you buy boxing glove. On the other hand, coil does mean that I wish I had bought the boxing glove. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to mirror the coil. That'll give me 10 knockback and 20% damage. That'll fix our damage almost immediately. So let's buy blindfold. We'll buy mirror, and then I'll do a reroll, and I'll lock a hand. Saltwater. I don't care that much about the special effect. 2 melee damage and 3 attack speed is just kind of mid. So let's just go ahead and ban this, get a level 2 item out of the pool. And then I'll do a reroll here, and I'll go to the next wave. Okay, so the double coil is going to help fix our percent damage. Our actual hands won't be doing any damage yet, but that's a great start. And then we just need to find a couple pets, and we'll be able to maybe try to kill the bosses, is the goal here. I will say I did one sort of test run. I just re-rolled until I found a pet, but we found a bunch of rats in that run in the first couple waves, so a little disappointing that I didn't find those in this run, but obviously it's much more likely when you're not buying anything except for pets to find them. So this is a case where the loot worm bug is going to cost me this tree kill, I think, unless I run for it, which is really unfortunate. The loot worm not doing its job is making this run a lot harder. I'll take 10 luck here, and then 12% damage would go a long way, but I think I need to take the dodge. We have to pick up enough dodge to get to dodge cap if we want this character to function. We'll double coil, we'll buy the hand, and then I will reroll. I definitely don't want to cap my max HP. I will take a Blood Leech. All of that regeneration is good. Handcuffs, I can't really buy. I don't think it's worth buying the level 1 hand here. It's the same amount of harvesting, kind of the same amount of attacks. A level 2 hand, though, actually increases our harvesting and attacks, so it is worth it. Alien Baby, I think we do have to buy on this character. Obviously, we will eventually try to kill stuff, but for now, we're not. So I'm gonna buy the Alien Baby and fix my max HP, which currently is extremely low. And then we'll buy all of these items as well, so great shop for us there. We have so much extra knockback now. That's really nice. This is the hardest elite for us. Overall, I think it's one of the hardest to dodge if you're not trying to fight it. When you're trying to fight it, you can just stay in against it, and you'll be inside the inner ring of its attacks. But when you're not trying to fight it and you need to stay away from it, it can be much harder not to take hits from the circling attacks. And because it goes into its second stage really quickly, it can be really dangerous to fight this elite, because this elite has 3 stages. So it goes into its second stage where it starts doing the slashes, and then its third stage where it starts charging. And that means that you're just you spend much more of the wave in a difficult attack pattern when you're trying to evade that elite. Let's reroll here and reroll again. I'm going to take 9 more speed. I definitely need more movement speed. And then we'll buy all of this. With 30 regen, we can get away with the weird ghost, no problem. We'll ban Compass. I'll take a reroll here. Another baby squid at this point is still good. I'll buy the weird food. It does cost me dodge, but it's still worth buying, and then we'll ban white flag. So now I've banned a bunch of level 2 items, so that we are on track maybe to find some pets. And I'll do some rerolls specifically to find pets once our other stats have stabilized. Yeah, so our AFK loot worm is it's so frustrating, actually, that bug is still in the game when they said they fixed it. Oh well. At least we got a crate out of the tree there, so that'll work with our bag and everything. Yeah, I'll take the fresh meat. Lifesteal's still good on this character. I'll take 6 dodge because I want to get to dodge cap. We're thrilled to get a tree. It works. We actually have come up with... We have a bunch of, like, treasure map and bag and stuff like that, which require trees for this character to make good use of. Do I want the level 2 hand? I don't think so. I'll take a 3rd baby squid, sure. And I'll buy bone dice as well. That'll get me some % damage. Alien worm, we have plenty of consumable heal, and I need more max HP. And then neither whistle nor fried rice does anything right now. So after this wave, I think my stats will be pretty stable, so we can roll for pets and try to transition to a damage build for the end game. I'll also start taking, if we get some efficient melee damage upgrades, I'll take those, and our hands could actually start throwing hands. Fairly difficult movement this wave because of all of the buffed enemies being so much faster. And you can see everything gets buffed. These enemies buff in an AoE, so they're gonna buff the entire enemy wave. Fortunately, we have a lot of regeneration at this point, so we're relatively safe. As long as I don't walk into everything. but it could be pretty dangerous still. 5 knockback is really good. How fast are my hands attacking? So we would give up some attack speed on our hands for the ball and chain, but we get 15%, no, we get 20% damage. No, 25, because I have double coil. 25% damage and 3 armor. Yeah, I'll take the ball and chain. We'll buy the scar here. We'll take 9 dodge, going to 51. Let's buy bone dice and dangerous bunny. We'll take the alien worm, and then I'll roll here. Anvil, that's a way to upgrade our hands, and it can give me some armor as well. Okay, and here we go. We got our Blazemander. So that's pretty nice. Currently, I don't have enough elemental damage to make it a huge amount of damage, but the Blazemander and the Spicy Sauce are both going to deal a decent amount of damage. If we were to buy this hand, it actually decreases the speed of our anvil leveling things up, so no need to lock that. But I will lock this one. Alloy, I do want those base damage types for any pets that we might find, but losing 6 dodge is so bad for this character, so I think we'll pass on the alloy. Alright, but now our Blazemander is going to start setting things on fire. Right now it's not a ton of damage because we have no elemental damage, but as soon as we get some, and our percent damage is getting fixed, we'll be able to use the Blazemander really well. We did pass a fried rice earlier, which would have been pretty good to have now. And now that we've got a little bit of damage and we're still occasionally killing things, I am glad to have this lazy loot worm. It was a complete layabout for the first, like, 10 waves that we had it for, but it has started paying off here, because now it's going to actually start picking up materials. Okay, I'll take 3 elemental damage because we have the Blazemander. We'll buy the anvil. We'll buy basically 1 anvil tick here. I don't need the alien baby anymore, so I'll roll. I'll take a lemonade. Lost duck would still be pretty nice, but I actually don't want to reduce my elemental damage because we're going to be using our Blazemander to kill stuff. And do I want a nuclear launcher? I kind of do. 50 damage a shot. We'll have to fix our range damage, but we're buying elemental damage anyways. We'll be able to upgrade it to level 4 with the anvil pretty easily. So the nuke launcher should be a pretty good tool in our arsenal as we transition to the killing pacifist. There's a debate in the community, I think, about whether pacifists should have damage items restricted and stop them from showing up in the first 20 waves for the character. I personally feel very strongly that it should not, because I think it's so fun that you can build into damage on the character. Also, restricting every damage item would make the character wildly overpowered, because you would just... your shops would be so focused. Most items in this game provide damage, so if you remove them from the pool, suddenly your shops are going to be incredible every shop. Yeah, fixing our melee damage, getting some HP, that's pretty nice as well. I'm going to roll here. If we find a 9 dodge upgrade, we hit dodge cap, and elemental damage is good as well, but I think I'm just going to keep rolling for dodge for a bit, because that's such a huge upgrade to our survivability. So we'll keep rolling, and we did finally find the 9 dodge. Let's go ahead and combine. We'll buy the nuke launcher first, because that way we can potentially hit it with the anvil right away. Fairy, obviously, great healing as well, so let's go to the next wave here. And now we're really starting to cook with our Blazemander. Killing the Stargazer towers there, stop the mini-bosses from spawning. We still don't quite have the damage to stop them all from spawning, but if we can delay 1 or 2, that matters a lot. This wave is still going to be pretty hard, even though my regeneration is really high and everything. These mini-bosses, it's hard to avoid them spawning on this character. We don't have the damage. And they do so much damage and have so many attacks, it's very difficult to avoid taking hits. So my movement has to be fairly precise for the end game here. We're going to end up with just a lot of stuff to avoid. And I basically accepted taking a lot of hits there to make sure that we weren't taking too many at once. And we were just relying on our regeneration. I actually got pretty unlucky with dodges as well. Oh, I'm below dodge cap. I must have bought something that reduced dodge, because I thought I was at 51 and bought on plus 9%. Not sure what that was, but we'll fix it later on. We'll take 8% damage just to get to positive percent damage. And then let's buy Fairy and Campfire. Obliterator will help me kill bosses, so I'm going to lock this as well. And actually, if I sell the level 3 hand, I can't afford the Obliterator, right? But if I sell the level 4 hand, we can. That's probably worth it. I should have done the math before I re-rolled there, because I think I might have been able to buy it right away by selling the level 3 hand. But it's okay. We have Anvil. We'll get our weapon upgrades, and that's all going to be pretty nice. I'll take Treasure Map in the end game here. Is there any chance it pays off, actually? I think it won't, but so I'm going to pass on it. Do I want Frozen Heart? It's going to make my Blazemander a lot worse, of course, and that thing's already dealt 25,000 damage. The Blazemander really kind of going off here, but it will help scale the damage on our Obliterator, especially on our Nuke Launcher, which already comes with elemental damage, and on our hands just a little bit. I think it's worth buying the Frozen Heart. This one's close, because the Blazemander is a big chunk of our DPS right now. But just buying 8 elemental damage for our Nuke Launcher is going to be a lot of additional damage output. Feels so good when you're playing the Pacifist and you've just been running away from the enemies the whole time. You get to just finally turn and show them who's boss. And now we're just really strong, actually, because we were able to kind of weather the storm, use this character's early game economy to boost us to a reasonable level. We definitely had some 10th waves in the mid game, but and I do think this is still, you know, having played this run, I think this is still overall a weaker or less reliable strategy than just building pure defense on the Pacifist. We've got some pretty strong items here. But this is kind of a fun alternate take on the character for sure. 5 ranged damage will help with our Obliterator and our Nuke Launcher. Does cost me some attack speed, and some regen, but we have 69 regen already. Nice. I think it is worth buying the heavy bullets. We'll buy Frozen Heart. If I sell the hand, I still can't afford the rocket launcher, and I don't think we really need that. Let's roll here. We'll take a spicy sauce, and then I'll re-roll again. Ice Cube, that's a lot of damage. I'll take that as well, and then we'll go to wave 18. And we should here, I think, be able... We have an Obliterator, which is really good at fighting elites, even with, you know, less damage than you usually have on it. I think we should have the damage to kill the elite here. Maybe not quite. Yeah, it's looking like we won't quite have the damage to kill it. So I'm going to actually play away from it. Very close, and I think with a couple more waves, we'll be able to pick up the damage to kill the bosses without too much difficulty. And play up in this corner here, and we'll just kind of rely on our loot worm to pick everything up. This wave is actually a lot easier because we are damage pacifist. This would be a much harder wave with normal pacifist. because this elite is really hard when you're when you don't have good damage. If you have enough damage to clear the other enemies, this elite's pretty easy. You just stand next to it and kill everything, and then it can never shoot you. But when you can't easily clear the other enemies, this elite's much harder. We'll take Power Generator, it's plus damage here. I'll take the Jelly. I'll reroll and reroll again. Roll one more time. Take 10% more attack speed, because I do actually want to try to kill the bosses. I think the Dangerous Bunny will still pay off. Starfish I'm not going to take. This is pretty dangerous, and although materials drop from enemies is a good stat, I'm really just looking for more damage items. We'll buy the Penguin. Alien Eyes, that's good damage against the bosses, so I'll take that. Do a reroll here, do another one. I'll take a Boiling Water, and I'll keep a rolling. Do I want a Fish Hook or a Blood Leech? I think we don't really need the Blood Leech. I think I'm really just looking for damage, so I'm going to roll. I'll take a Ritual, though. 6% damage, still pretty relevant. And here we go. Now our damage is starting to really add up. Ice Cube, by the way, it's less impactful for Ice Cube, but it did receive the same buff that Scared Sausage and stuff did, where the hit that applies the elemental damage will get the plus 10% damage to the debuffed enemy. So Ice Cube is sort of a flat 10% damage to elemental weapons, and then on non-elemental characters is still a pretty good damage boost. But we have Frozen Heart, so everything we do is elemental. So the Ice Cube is always going to be debuffing enemies. Yeah, we'll take the Boxing Glove. We'll take Terrified Onion. It gives us 4% damage. I'm going to buy 6 dodge here, just get to dodge cap as well. Oh, for some reason, when I bought the... what economy item did I buy recently? Where I said it would have time to pay off. I forget which one that was. I wish Sort by Obtaining actually worked. Anyways, I thought we were going to wave 18. We were going into wave 19. I just misread that. Yeah, Regen Potion. That's a lot of regeneration, so I will take that. And then I'm going to reroll here. Community support no longer really matters for this character. I could buy the Sniper Gun. I really wish that the mini projectiles got the damage scaling from Frozen Heart. I think I'll just buy some armor, and I'll roll. Not as decent, but kind of just want... Yeah, I was hoping for a pet, but we'll take a Scared Sausage. That should help us kill the bosses faster. And then I'll do another reroll here. I was hoping for some percent damage, but instead lost some HP. Alright, let's go fight the bosses. With just the Obliterator and the Nuke Launcher and our Blazemander that we've kind of nerfed, we might or might not be able to kill them, but I think we can get there. My hands really don't do much damage because we don't have any melee damage, but the Obliterator is always really good damage against bosses. Oh yeah, we have an Alien Eyes and some Spicy Sauces as well, which can help out a little bit. So I'm going to actually wait until at least one of the bosses is on a consumable before I pick those up as much as I can. I think we're not quite going to be able to kill them here. Starting to take some hits as well, because I need to play really close to them so that they stack on top of each other and the damage stacks. But this wave actually is also another one that's much easier because we have some damage. We're killing everything else. So unfortunate that we didn't quite get enough damage sources. I just didn't roll into any pets at the end of the run here to actually kill the bosses, but we should easily be able to survive because we can kill everything else in the run with our nuclear launcher. and we're close on killing the bosses, but just didn't quite get the items for it. I could have rolled into more damage stuff and less defensive stuff, but obviously you still want to win the run as well. All right, there we go. We did win with Damage Pacifist. Some pretty fun items this run. We ended up with 300 materials saved from coupon, 38 regen from the baby squid. Actually got 86 materials from our loot worm, who was just an embarrassment for most of the run, but kind of redeemed itself at the end. Treasure map, similarly, was pretty bad for most of the run, but we got 3 items, so it worked out. Bag 165 is great. The mirrored coils, if you get a chance to mirror coil, it's always excellent. So make sure to keep an eye out for this combo. If you see these 2 items in the shop together, this is a huge amount of percent damage and an amount of knockback that's actually relevant, which is normally pretty hard to find enough knockback that it matters. Spyglass was pretty good. 56k damage on the Blazemander. Yeah, we just needed like 1 or 2 more pets. Or maybe I just needed to sell my hands for... If we sold these for another elemental damage weapon, I don't remember if we found any. But if we could have done that, maybe I should have done that as well. Recycling machine was pretty bad. Power generator was okay, 10% damage on that. And 11k on the alien eyes, 4,900 on the scared sausage, so almost got there on killing the bosses, but obviously we still won the run. And I do think that the end game was easier because we were building damage. It made wave 18 and wave 20 both significantly easier, and because of the mini bosses that spawn on that wave. So I think there is some interesting stuff to explore with Damage Pacifists now that the pets exist. Probably not as a primary strategy, but if you get offered a couple pets in a box early, you might consider transitioning to being a Damage Pacifist as being the strongest strategy and not just a memes for fun strategy, which obviously it's always been super fun. All right, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this run, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit the like button. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.